banner had securing Efisha Museveni 2021 to 2021. The person who printed it made a mistake and put 2020 instead of 2021 to 2026, they put 2021 to 2021. Huh? Ugandans, as long as something is chono nesem katono. Ugandans got on that one and they began. They're like, okay. So he has prophesied on himself. So he has said that his term is going to end in 2021. Tojja Kulayila na Tojja kumalako. Whoa, it was just a mistake and a bloop. Everybody, I'm sure, has made a printing mistake, especially if you deal with these things of machinery and machinery, printery, and all these things. We are not perfect, and so you can't remember everything. Since you're not the machine. The machine is the one doing the work, so you never know where the blooper came from. But I think it was already made, and they just had to go with it like that. Of course, speaking shortly after his inauguration in Kololo Independence Grounds, on Wednesday, Museveni said that the past 35 years in his government have the economy has been growing at a rate of 6.2 per annum, adding that all signs indicate that this was to go up in the next term. Of course, even the Honorable Chiwanda Subi said the tourism sector has been growing because we had to listen in from that side as well. We had to listen in from people's economies. If they gave you a ministry, a whole ministry, and said govern this ministry, yeah, and this we expect your gross per annum to increase by 6.2%. Of course, that's a very, very big one, and we expect some accountability. And so the Honorable Chiwanda Subi was saying we were on a level of before lockdown, yeah, we were on a level of receiving 4 million tourists each and every single day. Not each and every single day, each and every single year, 4 million guests, 4 million tourists around Uganda. And this was boosting our economy highly. We had people coming in from everywhere. We had started attracting tourists because of different things. People would come down here to eat Rolex, the delicacy. Nyanyambisi, yeah. People would come down to here to go to the CB Falls, to go to all these parts that you know in the country that are amazing and interesting. But he said the lockdown is going to affect it because people are not coming in right now. So he should be given some time to work on it after the country is opened up. Talking about opening up of the country, when is the country going to be opened up? If you look at some of these industries, for example, the music industry, performing arts as a whole, even theater guys, poetry, music, DJing, everybody of that sort, they've been home. They've been home for like forever. But for the bars, I'm not sure. For the bars, that one, I'm not going to put my word at it. Actually, if your bar is closed, no. Yeah, these industries have been locked down since that time and they've not been at work. So there was rumor in the corridors of the country here and there that the country would be opened up as soon as the swearing in is done. We're going to the second day of swearing in and there is no single sign of us being opened up. Now, if you remember that day of swearing in, oh my God, there was a lot of security deployment everywhere. In that, roads were closed from east to west to south to north. I personally had to walk from the Sky Complex where we broadcast live right to Bunga, those ends, on foot. And that is when I understood that, of course, my mother was a mchinga really, because it was a little bit tiring. And that is when I noticed the importance of some of these things like cars. Cars are really, really important, and we thank God for the people that thought about them, because, man, walking in that sunshine was not easy. And you remember there was sunshine. At least if it was a bit cold and you're like, okay, it's cold, let me go and warm up. Nope, it was sunny and very, very hot, and so you had to feel it right in the fields that today is the swearing in. Well, it ended well, and I was supposed to be here to give you some updates, but what more could I have done than spend my day with the ED family here at STV? I'll get to that shortly, but as you can see, the security officers around town now, downtown Kampala was highly covered by STV reporters who, of course, brought the same report home and said, Security deployment was heavy. Remember, they announced and said it is a public holiday. We don't expect anybody to be moving around or doing anything on that day. Stay home, enjoy the ceremony on TV. I saw pictures of not the honorable, of Akon. I think he's going to even become a honorable, because by the time you own a city in a country, then why not honor you? Yeah, so I saw pictures of Akon around the city. I'm not sure about that. I'm not even going to dwell on it, but I just saw him watching on TV. I hear he jetted in the country late, and so watched the ceremony on TV. I don't know how true that is. So, as you can see, downtown Kampala was heavily guarded by both the military police and the Uganda police forces, and all these different types of forces. I've never understood the police uniforms, however, because I see the black uniform that some of our friends like to put on, and then I see the camouflage, which is a bit light blue and dark blue. Then I see the combat, the real maje, what they put on, the red top, and I don't understand what the camouflage does and how is it different from the khaki uniform, and then how is it different from the black uniform? Is it that the black ones can also put on the camouflage sometimes, or is it a group of people? Of course, we should remember that Hassan Kasinje was recently saying that we have a total of, was it 4,000 officers? 40,000 officers? There are very many now. There are very many in number right now, and they've gone on recruiting, and the numbers are increasing. And police is one of those things that you need to, of course, have a lot of energy before joining. I've seen women in police, and of course I would wonder how did this one train, because first of all they look like, first of all, they are these beautiful police officers. You guys have seen them, yeah? And some of them are on your screens right now. You can see there are some ladies, and I just really wonder how they trained. Because trust me, in high school, I used to have chakam, what we call chaka, but of course people shortened it and called it chakam, and it would last a month, and they would wake us up and make us run and start to just do those police things, and that is when I discovered that, okay, my place is in the camera. My place is in the camera, and I'm not going to try and do things that I will never try to do things that are not called for me, because Chakam was tiring. So I really thank our police officers for the good work that they did on that day. However, some of them were really harsh, especially on borders. Now, that is even heartbreaking, because I've told you we need cars. We don't have cars. And again, we have Kapichi, and you're also becoming harsh on them. And I'm like, okay, this country, we really need the grace. But the borders are not yet allowed to move, I think, beyond 5 p.m. And if you've noticed, right now, the heaviness of it right now in the country is that some of these borders now will blatantly refuse to take you and leave you on the road, because they also fear to get into trouble. People's borders have been confiscated. And of course, we do know that if you're not good at the technical know-how thing, you might not be helped as fast. You will be helped, of course, you will get help, but not that fast. Yeah, so those are some of the policemen that you're seeing on our screens right about now. Of course, we should remember that there were a number of invited guests, like I've told you. Among them was the Honorable Speaker of Parliament, Rebecca Kadaga, who is set to battle it out with the Jacob Olanyo, his deputy, to see who takes the speakership next. Now, the speakership voting was pushed beyond its due date, simply because of the COVID-19, first of all, and secondly, because of the whole chaos that was surrounding that matter. Remember that the Honorable Kadaga is NRM. She's very NRM, but she's NRM, but she's starting to disagree with some of the things that they do as a party, and of course she's starting to disagree with some of the things that the government does as a party. I told you in January, February, around there, I told you not to confuse the government with the NRM. These are two different parties. So when the NRM came out and gave, was it 60 billion shillings to its candidates to go and relax, if you are newly elected MP in NRM, you get those benefits, you get some money, you go pay off your debts, and just generally use it to relax. That was very different from the government. So the government is different from the NRM, and we saw the NRM secretariat clad in yellow, moving into the grounds like, oh, with a lot of glory. Now, of course, we saw the Honorable Kasule Lumumba, Justin Kasule Lumumba, leading her team. What was interesting about it is that they all put on the same kind of clothes. It's like they went to the same tailor and ordered yellow outfits, and man, it looked so glorious. And of course, we shouldn't forget that the Honorable Kadaga, for her, she decided that she'll wear blue. She did not say she's part of the blue camp. She did not say anything about, she just looked smart in blue. And that's where, of course, I want to say this, that colors don't mean, if I'm wearing yellow and you meet me, kindly don't start telling me, hey, you're NRM, okay, hashtag NRM. And if you're wearing blue, I promise you, I'm not going to start to tell you hashtag FDC or hashtag whatever. And if you're wearing red, kindly, I will not also tell you hashtag NUP. But they are the party colors, we understand that. And we just hope that this division stops. One of the things that has brought problems for us in Uganda here is that divide and rule. I mean, the rule of division has become the rule of division anywhere and everywhere. There's division in Uganda. There's division in Uganda everywhere you turn. These ones are divided. These ones are divided. But I believe that, people always even bring tribalism on this one, and they say that the reason why we are divided is because, of course, we have very many tribes and we are meant to be different. No. The fact that we have different tribes actually means we should unite. Yeah, we should use it to our advantage as Ugandans, and it should start, of course, from the top office, like he has just sworn in, and we use that advantage to unite and tell our people to unite and even save the next generation. Because if you look at Uganda right now, we don't know what the next generation should expect, since this generation of ours is already going through what we call a lot or enough, whatever that means. Yeah, so as you can see, there was enough medical care when it came to the ambulances and all that, because, of course, in such situations, we expect that some people will fall the other side and maybe faint. Some people cannot sit for long, and so they'll get problems. We consider their health problems, and so yeah, we had to, the ambulances had to be available. Uganda is showcasing their military might, as Museveni swears in right now on our screen, and this happened on Wednesday, and it was a beautiful ceremony. As you can see, what I've been telling you. So these guys would like get on a string, They had something like a parachute, but it looked like a flag as well at the same time. And so they would come from the military Air Force helicopters or choppers, and they would like kind of swing up to down, reach down, and then have to untie some of these things as if, and then personally, I didn't get the chance to attend it personally, like physically in person, but I watched on TV. So I think if I was attending physically, I would have gone there like a good journalist to see what exactly they were doing when they were getting down, because they would like leave the plane and then get down on the ground, kind of kneel on one knee as if proposing, and then start to unlock whatever that was. And it was a good thing, because I didn't know that this was also on the plan. I didn't know it was on the plan for us to watch acrobatics done. Can you see that? Can you see? Wow, and then the guy will get down, and we shall go back up to pick another one. And it went on for some minutes, and it was very, very nice, because of course we now have proof that the UPDAF, yeah, the UPDAF, Uganda People's Defense Air Force, yeah, also now is very, very trained. It's highly trained. It can yeah, because I'm imagining these acrobatics were not for just showing and showcasing and for us to smile about it. I believe that since it's the military, it has everything attached to do with security and of course law enforcement, because if you look at something like that, wow, and the guy will get down on his knee, on one knee. I don't know how they are trained to do that, and of course we can't see the president, Honorable Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, watching it and making sure that everything goes on well. Remember, he's their boss. Much as he's the leader of the country, he is their boss. Of course, there's even another video that made rounds on social media where there was a group of military that was not able to attend the swearing in at Kololo. And so they went aside somewhere, wherever they were, and celebrated and sang all these victory songs that NRM is back into power. Of course, nothing lasts forever. We will have a new president, whether it's 10 years after now, whether it's 11, 12 years after today, we will have a new president. And it will also be in order for us to be happy for the new president, just like we are happy for this one, yeah? And it will be in order for us to support the new president, just like we've supported Museveni all these years. So, by supporting, I don't mean voting, I mean supporting like a Ugandan, giving your support to the government to see where it can take us. Yes, that was the military might, like you've seen it on our screens there on television. Now, of course, very many people had the chance to watch this particular one, and it was a good thing for us to watch and be sure and content that, of course, excuse me, to be content that, of course, the UPDAF has enough training to go down anywhere and fight. I think that is one of the reasons why we usually tend to send in our troops to maybe Mogadishu or any place that has problems with war, DR Congo and all these places, so that we help them in the fight against their wars. Because Ugandan military is highly trained. As you know, Museveni is a student of political science, but also a trained general in the Maje, and he's currently commander-in-chief, and he is going to be for the next 5 years. Of course, commander-in-chief is usually the head of state, even if you're not really trained for it. It just comes with the mantle, yeah? And we are looking for a blissful 5 years of NRM in power again, and we are looking to work together with the government and see how to better our economy, especially the economy, because economy is the backbone of life. No? I don't know. No one said that. No, that quote does not exist. I've just thought about it now. But I'm thinking economy is the backbone of life, because with the economy, it gets to see life moving forward and stuff like that. Everything costs money here in Uganda or even in outside countries. You cannot go to a shop and claim, okay, mumpeyo, without paying. So the economy must first be built, and then we see how these other things run through. It's possible. It is really possible. Actually, it's possible for Uganda to be among the top 5 first world countries. Top 5 first world countries. It's a dream that can come true to reality. Why? Because if you look at Ugandans are very sharp people. Ugandans balina magezi manji. You can tell by the way Ugandans are handling social media right now. Have you been to TikTok? Have you seen what Ugandans are doing there? Have you been to Twitter or all these other things? Man, Ugandans, I think we are very sharp, and if we decide to unite, because we can't do anything without uniting first. That's even actually why we're just there. Anything that comes upon us, we are okay. Just because we are divided. You don't know who is your friend. You don't know who to trust. You don't know who to give your hands and say, okay, hold mine, and then we see how to move forward. No, it's always this after this after this. And then you find yourself that you find you just have a hard heart towards just trusting people, accepting people again, just going through that thing of understanding people. It just becomes terrible just because we didn't start it early. But I believe in healing. I believe in everything good and positive. So I believe that one of these days we should start thinking about coming together and seeing how to make Uganda among the top 5. We can even just use content creation. Ugandans are very good content creators. You can tell that by the rank we have in the music industry worldwide. Worldwide. You know, there are some countries which don't have any musicians on chart. Mozambique, have you heard anyone from Mauritius? No. Ugandans are very talented people. Very talented. But it's just that we are sadists, we lack encouragement for one another, we lack unity, and if we solve this, who knows, we shall be... imagine a Uganda where we are among the top 5 countries that are first world. That means that we are above the poverty line, so you won't find people homeless, you won't find the poverty man. The poverty we have here is supernatural. You go and ask some people just down, for example, in Bududa, and they'll tell you, us we eat 1 meal a day, and even the meal we have to go and struggle for it, and then you fail to thank God for where you are now. You have a TV, you're watching me, you're watching STV. You should thank God just before you grumble and go about your day saying, can you thank God for the deals that you've got before? Can you thank God for what has happened in your life just before you go ahead and ridicule? All right, topic of discussion, I think, is that what do you expect from the NRM government that has just taken over power again? What are your expectations? Let's first stop being pissed. Now let's first stop getting angry and say, okay, what the hell? Let's accept the fact that now we have a new president, we have a new government. We have opposition. You guys, let's not forget that the Joel Senyonyis are in power. We have opposition. They're going to have a leader in parliament. They're going to be put on committees. When the Honorable Chagulanyi was in parliament, he was put on different committees in the parliament. So please, let's now understand exactly as Ugandans where to start. Yeah? They're going to choose leader of opposition. If you're opposition, then you're going to have a place where to report and your issues so they can be reported to parliament. Usually they sit and have plenaries and debate about it. Journalists are usually there. Cameras are usually live, unless maybe, I don't know. But cameras are usually there. So you can get to know if your request was submitted into parliament, because you chose this Babaka for them to go to parliament and table your thoughts, not theirs, not their thoughts. No, your member of parliament is supposed to table your own thoughts, the problems that are down there in Shema North, where I come from. The Honorable, who is Katesh. Katesh is now my MP. So Katesh, I expect that you go down obuzawa antebe kubateganisa niche bintebe ebizibu government yakubene kola akuba toine kugaba sente. Yeah, you don't have to give out money. So how about you go to the parliament and represent the people fully? Yeah, by telling them, it doesn't matter where you come from, by the way, because I don't know how to speak in West Nile. But I believe you guys have MPs. Go to them and tell them, this is my issue, this is my issue. Can you report it in parliament? And then wait for the journalists. Because the reason why the journalists are fourth estate in the whole country is because they are supposed to bring you what is happening in the first estate, in the second and the third. What is happening in the country. It's supposed to be like an update. Because the fourth estate is also just as important as the first, second, and third. But, of course, we had usually downplayed and stuff like that. But that is going to change. That one I'm promising you, that is going to change. So, my name is Carol Tumwini. I'm going to take a very short break and return with, first of all, return with a beautiful global exploration about the Islam. And then we talk about Eid. And then we get into our topical discussion. And later on, I think Kemi Angela will be joining us for her lifestyle segment to tell us exactly what we are supposed to wear when, why I wore yellow, is it okay to wear yellow? She will be telling us. So let's take a very short break. Don't go away. Stay with us.